what we need, first of all, is consistency in government policies. That's number one. And also the support of the governments here. Because, I mean, if you look at it really, what we lack in Africa is quite a lot. Because we're a continent of imports, and we're not really exporting much. We export raw materials, which means when you export raw materials, you are exporting jobs. And when you import, you are importing poverty.
His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, President William Ruto owe Kenya, Sakoni Aliko Dangote, ono nga mugagga omukukutivu mu ggwanga erya Nigeria. Basinkana mu summit gyevuddeko Nairobi eriyitibwa We Build Summit. Era ng'eno yali egendereddwa mu kulaba nga badiscussinga way forward okulaba nti nno engeri gye bayinza okutumulamu ebyenfuna saako n'okuzimba eddongooserezo ly'amafuta erisinga erikirako eriri mu ggwanga erya Nigeria, era nga lino yalizimba ye Aliko Dangote. Aliko Dangote yavayo n'ategeeza era n'awabula abakulembeze bano. Mu Africa tulina ekizibu kimu nti no tulina ebyobugagga bingi naye ate tetumanyi bikozesa. Ogenda okwesanga ng'ebyobugagga ebyo we tubifuna kangeze nga gold ne tumufuna then ne bamu exportinga kwegamba we export raw materials. Kino no kireetawo ebbula ly'emirimu mu Africa. So nga African, I mean ngagga era ojja kwesanga amawanga agasinga gadependinga ku Africa naye olwokuba nno bo bagula raw materials ne bagenda ne bakola finished goods. Kati kino nno kirese Africa nga yo nga tefunyeemu emirimu gibuze, emirimu emitono ate neje giriwo naje era gisasulwa obusente butono waaye kubanga experts tebali mu Africa bali mawanga agakuze agali kutwala raw materials. Kati Aliko Dangote watu yategezeza n'agamba nti nno bano singa abakulembeze bano ababiri bakolagana bulungi nnyo n'omugagga ono agenda kuzimba eddongooserezo ly'amafuta erikirako erye Nigeria lyazimba. Tugenda kuba tuliyakitinga ku video eno. Yagambye nti actually Africa must stop importing poverty. So that is the video that we are going to react on. If you're new here, kindly first hit that subscribe button. Don't forget turn the notification bell so that whenever we upload any new video, you'll be able to watch it first. Now, Africa We Build Summit yaliyo ku ntandikwa y'omwezi ogwedde ogwa April. Era nga muno mwetabirwamu ba ministers abamawanga gano mwali Kenya, Uganda n'amawanga amalala nga muno mwali n'omugagga era naggagga y'omu ku bannagagga basinga obunene wano mu kulukalo olwa Africa. Ekigendererwa nga bagendamu okutema empenda engeri gye basobola okukozesa ebyobugagga bye tulina mu Africa okulaakulanya Africa n'okugizimba okubeera nga tedependinga ate ku bazungu.
Because you are creating jobs out there, not here in the continent. So I think with the support of the government, there's nothing that is impossible. And some of us were really tired of seeing our continent going out there to be begging for anything. I mean, if you remember at the beginning of the war between Ukraine and Russia, the chairman of African Union, that was President Macky Sall, had to go and be begging for fertilizers. And since that day, I said, okay, fine, by 2028, Africa will be self-sufficient in fertilizer. And while doing that, we're opening 20 blending plants in areas where they don't have the capacity. Also, we're going to be at 12 million tons of urea. We're going to have massive potash and phosphate from Congo, Brazzaville. And we believe we will satisfy most of the demands of Africa.
Aliko Dangote nkugambye yavaayo n'ayogera plainly ng'agamba abakulembeze bano enti singa banaakolagana bulungi ye agenda kuleeta omusimbi azimbe eddongooserezo mu kitundu ekya Tanga era nga kino kijja kuyamba nnyo okulaba nti nno basunsula amafuta. Jukira Uganda eyo mu bitundu ebyebunyolo tulinayo amafuta era nga Uganda ekoze pipeline okuva mu ggwanga erya Uganda paka mu Tanzania gye bagenda okusunsulira amafuta gano kuba gagenda nga crude oil then bagasunsula okulaba nga bajjamu amafuta amalungi. Kati bazimbye omukutu ogwo oba omudumu ogwo ogenda paka Tanzania. Kati Aliko Dangote agamba singa abakulembeze bano bakwatagana bulungi era ne bakolaganira wamu kino nno kisobola okusoboka ng'era eddongosero lino bajja dizimba mu ggwanga erya Tanzania okulaba nga bayambako okubeera nga nti amafuta ate tegagenda bweru nga wetubadde tukimanyi oba raw materials tebaze exporting era n'agamba nti ekizibu kya Africa nti Africa instead of okwekuliyetingira emirimu ate yo nga yo ekwata ebyobugagga byerina n'ebitunda nga as raw materials kati abeeri ababiguze ne bagenda bo ne bafuna emirimu Africans ne basigala nga bo bakyali bannaku beerere.
I mean, you look at it today with population of Africa of 1.4 billion and also rising, right? We don't have raw material for detergent just to wash this clothes, which we need every day. We don't have. We only have 2 factories, one Egypt 50 tons, 100 tons in Algeria. So that's why we also launched now 400,000 metric tons of linear alkaline benzene, which is the 100% raw material of detergent. So we have quite a lot of which before we don't have the capacity, but right now with the likes of Afrexim Bank, with the likes of Africa Finance Corporation, with a lot of support from other financial institutions. Following these two, there's nothing we cannot do in Africa. That's why we, as a group, we have now launched between now and 2030, we're investing $40 billion in various fields.
Is part of that the refinery?
Even now, I can give commitment to the 2 presidents that were here. If they will support the refinery, we'll build the identical one that we have in Nigeria, 650,000 barrels.
So the discussions are still early, though, but the 3 of you, it seems like you're trying to make this work.
It will work. There's nothing that can stop it. We have done the one in Nigeria, and that's why we are taking the bold move, which we have started already. Piling has started. We are building that one to a scale. 1.4 million barrels a day will give us will be the largest refinery in the world. That's number 1. Number 2, will have 10% of the entire United States of America's refining capacity. And this is coming with a lot of, petrochemicals. I mean, you look at it today in Nigeria, if not because we have polypropylene, all the plants, all the businesses would have collapsed because cement is packed in polypropylene, flour, rice, grains, everything. So nothing. And the cost now has shot up between just 45 days from $900 a ton to $3,000. There's no way you can afford it.
Proposal refinery eno egendereddwamu okulaba nti reducinga emiwendo gy'amafuta mu kitundu ekya East Africa saako ne Africa n'okulaba nti ecreatinga emirimu mingi saako n'okulaba nti tutumula ebyobusuubuzi mu kitundu kino ekya East Africa n'okulaba nti reducinga dependency kwebyo kwaga amafuta agabeera gaze mu ggwanga obanga kijja kuba kiyambako nti nno ensi zino zijja kuba tezikyasobola zijja kuba zikendeeza mu kusuubula amafuta okuva emitaala w'amayanja ate ogaleeta mu nsi zaabwe kubanga refinery eno webanga ezimbiddwa mu kitundu kino ekya East Africa kitegeeza nti nno emiwendo gijja kendeera egy'amafuta era nga gajja kukkira ddala kino nno kijja kuyambako ebyobusuubuzi okubanga bitutumuka saako n'okulaba nti nno abavubuka oba n'abantu ba Africa nga East Africa in particular okulaba nti no bafuna emirimu singa eddongosero zino ery'amafuta libeera likoze ki libeera lizimbiddwa. Era wano Museveni yo yavaayo n'ategeeza n'agamba kino akisanyukira, era Uganda era yo ekisanyukira era ng'ejja kisapootinga okulaba nga refinery eno ekola ki ezimbibwa okulaba nti Uganda esobola okutambuza amafuta gaayo ate ogenda okugasunsula obulungi wano ku mulirwano era nga gagenda kuba gava mu kitundu ekya Hoima eyo mu Bunyoro. Wano n'agamba kino kijja kuyambako okulaba nti nno ne East Africa bagenda kuba basobola okukola ki okucreatinga emirimu mingi nnyo okuyamba abo abavubuka sako n'abantu abatalina mirimu nga bakola mu refineries zino.
What is different is that the mistake makers have failed. So people have seen the mistakes. The mistakes have blossomed. They have seen. I think that's why people are beginning to see themselves different. You can see these are. I have been watching this for the last 65 years. I think Mr. Ruto maybe. Are you 65? 58, you can imagine. 50. So, these young people have come up and they have seen. It would have been better if because like some of the other people, like the Chinese, the people like Lee Kuan Yew, they saw it earlier. But Africa also had a lot of additional problems. Like, for instance, landlocked countries.
Right.
If you are landlocked, even if you see something, if the coastal countries don't see it properly, you can't move. So the mistakes are our biggest teachers. Because, and the crises. The youth have no jobs. So I think people can now see, can listen more. Because there was a law. It was really ideological intoxication that if you, like for instance here in East Africa, how the East African community broke up in 1977 with Amin. People thought there was another way other than the East African community. But now later on they discovered that no, East African community is the only way, and that's how we came back.
So that is why we must learn how to build self-sufficiency. Right now, we have big financial institutions that are very hungry for big ticket items, and we are also big in terms of our own vision. You know, I mean, before, there's nothing that, any one of us will sit down and say, no, I want to build something like, I mean, when Samaila was heading our finance, long time ago, this was 2003, 2004, 2005, we were even paying 44% interest rate in Nigeria. We had to go to IFC to raise money. Was our first loan abroad was 478 million. And this thing can be done. 478 million, Samaila gave them a calculation that, okay, we need 3 years loan. They said, no, you guys, you don't know what you are talking about. You need 7 years. 2 years moratorium, 5 years payment. We said, okay, we agree because we are desperate for the money. When we took that money, we paid it back before the expiration of the moratorium, which is 18 months. 24 months, but we paid the money back in 18 months. So it is possible. Africans can do it. Let us not be scared. Let them not come and convince us that no, somebody needs to carry our raw material to go and produce and bring the items here. I must really thank President of Uganda for taking this bold move. Stopping the export, they will be forced, they will come and produce. Why do you want to take the raw material, then you bring it back? We too, we have educated people. We have big financial institutions. It's not like before. Things have changed.
President Ruto onono nga ye president w'eggwanga erya Kenya naye yavaayo n'asanyukira ekintu kino n'agamba nti nno kino this is a game changer for East Africa's economy. However, the project has already sparked debate era nga Tanzania Suluhu Samia yavaayo n'ategeeza n'agamba refinery eno eri announced in public but before consultation kino kitegeeza ki it raises a lot of issues, a lot of concerns kubanga kino bandibadde basooka kiteesaako nga tebannaba kireeta mu lujjudde okulaba nti no ate bakyanjulira ensi okukimanya era n'agamba many Africans are now asking could this become East Africa's biggest economic project kyekibuuzo ekiri mu ddiiro wadde nga nti Samia Suluhu ono ye president w'eggwanga erya Tanzania yavayo n'awa concern nti no kino bamaze okukyanawunsinga mu lujjudde naye nga tebannakufuna consultation kinaabaawo kinaasoboka kubanga bonga abakulembeze bandibadde basooka ne batuula ne basooka ne bafuna consultations ezimala okulaba nti no bagenda okyanjulira ensi nga bamaze okufuna ate details obulungi nenge gye bagenda okikolamu okubeera successful kuba Dangote yabagamba nze kyo neetaaga mmwe kubeera nga muli collaborative nange nze ndeete ssente nzimbe essunsuliro ery'amafuta erigenda okuyamba wano East Africa saako ne Africa okutwaliza agwamu gwe kikyolowooza nga nkulekera obubaka buno kikyolowooza olowooza singa refinery nebeera ezimbiddwa mu East Africa enaaleetawo enkyukakyuka mu byenfuna bya East Africa kikyolowooza osobola okumpa comment yo mu comment section. What do you think? Could this become East Africa's biggest economic project? What do you think? Should East African countries unite behind Dangote's refinery project? Comment below. Era subscribing, liking, and sharing ki social media Uganda. Kaleno bwebo obubaka from Dangote. We have there na lecturing Museveni. You have na lecturing His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Ruto sako na abakulembeze aba East Africa nga bagamba please stop what you're doing, stop importing poverty, stop importing poverty nanga kyekiseera okulaba nti nno mukozesa ebyo tulina okulaba nti nno ate twejja mu bwavu n'okwekulaakulanya. Yawaayo concern emu n'agamba can imagine mu Africa tetulina kyuma kikola sabuni detergent. N'agamba kino kiswaza era n'agamba nti nno ali mu nteekateeka okulaba nti nno akola ebintu bino okuyambako Africa okulaba nti nno yetutumuka mu byenfuna. Yoyo Aliko Dangote era nga musajja mugundiivu era nga musajja mugagga era nga awangayira mu ggwanga erya Nigeria.
Convince us that no, somebody needs to carry our raw material to go and produce and bring the items here. I must really thank President of Uganda for taking this bold move. Stopping the export, they will be forced, they will come and produce. Why do you want to take the raw material, then you bring it back? We too, we have educated people, we have big financial institutions. It's not like before. Things have changed.
Thank you for that. I'm cognizant of time. We don't have enough time.
Hope,
President Ruto, yes.
I'm happy that my Minister for Minerals is here, Hassan Joho. You know, I hope you have heard the
I see more plans.
We are not exporting anything raw going forward. And the instructions are very clear that our minerals, you know, for the record, sit down, was it? For the record, we had Base Titanium, one of the companies, they were exporting titanium out of Kenya. They exported everything close to the mines, and we got nothing out of it. Very little, you know, and the future generations are going to ask us, There was titanium in Kenya. What happened to it? And we will have no answers for it. And that is why, going forward, we've been very clear as a government that the rare earth that we are now looking at, all the other gold issues and the whole mineral sector, we are not going to export it raw anymore. With clarity. And that is why, as we build the refinery together, this conference is also how are we going to take charge of all the other minerals in our region that are today being exported in raw form. How do we create an ecosystem here that also creates better beneficiation of these minerals by processing it here and driving the industries that use these minerals to come here and work with us, because in any case, and that is, allow me to say why we cannot fail. It is not possible for us to fail. Even with the refinery, it is not possible for us to fail. Why? Because we have the raw material. We have crude. Number two, we have the market to buy the product. We are currently importing the products from all over the place. So we have the market to sell. Number three, we have the capital to build it, to develop it. And we have the industrialists to help us run it. Why would we fail?
That's a fair question. President Museveni, I'd love to hear your perspective, especially as you're getting set to be an oil producer. How do you see this changing your economy, but also how do you assure beneficiation for your economy, as President Ruto was just speaking there? And the region, excuse me.
Our strategy is already clear. We shall build the small refinery which we had planned of 60,000, that will be 180,000. Of course, this was for the internal market of Uganda and for the parts of Tanzania and parts of Kenya which are near Uganda because of the transport costs. But the surplus oil we shall contribute to the East African refinery, the one of Tanga. And as I told you, this is just from 40% of one of the 5. So we have got more oil. So when that more oil comes, we shall contribute to the refinery in Tanga more, but also must own it also. It cannot be owned by the coastal states only. It must be owned by. Regarding the other minerals, I can tell you, for instance, the uranium. We have got a lot of uranium. A Canadian company came and said, I want to take the uranium. So where are you taking it? To abroad. But I have had a rumor. What are you going to do with the uranium abroad? To generate electricity. But I have had a rumor that there are some human beings here. It's not confirmed, but I have had a rumor that there are some human beings here who need electricity. Why don't you start with those? They might disappear. They never came back. So the uranium is in the ground. You, the grandchildren, you will get it out if we don't get it out. It's there for you. That's the same story with the gold. I banned the export of gold. Now there are how many refineries of gold now? There are now 9. Imagine this, the one we are producing in Busia, is it a kilo or what? No. The one they gave me, is it a kilo or what? Yeah, but what is it? The weight? Now, if you export gold unprocessed, 84% pure.